Daniel Reeves, 29, was a delivery driver and tenant at 233 Elmridge Lane, a quiet suburban neighborhood. Neighbors described him as quiet, polite, and normal. He had no history of substance abuse or mental health issues. He lived alone and worked night shifts. Across from Daniel's house was 237 Elmridge Lane, a residence long considered odd by neighbors due to strange behavior by former tenants and one consistent feature: the porch light was always on. Journal entries, recovered from Daniel's laptop. Sept 19:12 a.m. That house across the street, 237. The porch light is always on. Not warm, not welcoming. It's the color of infection. The Johnsons moved in last week. They smiled at me today but didn't blink. Not once. Sept 21:309 a.m. I woke up to a baby crying. Looked outside. The Johnsons were standing on their porch, staring at me, not moving, baby in their arms. When I blinked, they were gone, but the light flickered, and I swear I heard them whisper my name. Sept 22:11:47 p.m. Called the cops. Told them something was scratching in my walls. Officer Ruiz came. She checked everything, then walked across the street. Knocked. The porch light flickered again. She froze. Looked right at me. Smiled with all her teeth. Then walked into the house. She never came back out. Sept 24:2:57 a.m. The porch light is in my house now. I didn't install anything. It's just there, humming in the kitchen. When I close my eyes, I see the baby. Her skin doesn't fit. They whisper in the walls now. My name, over and over. I'm not alone in here. Video retrieved from Daniel's phone, found face down on his porch. Below is the full transcription. September 26th, 3:12 a.m. Black screen. Muffled breathing. A faint hum, not quite electric, more like a living sound. Daniel, you can hear it, right? It's in the house now. The camera pans toward the kitchen. A strange yellowish light seeps from a corner of the ceiling. It has no source. It flickers in rhythm, almost like it's breathing. Daniel, I'm going across the street. I need to see. I need it to stop. Behind him, a shadow crosses the hall, human-shaped, but it walks backwards. Daniel opens his front door. The porch light of 237 is visible, but now it's pulsing, almost liquid, dripping down the steps. A low heartbeat-like sound rises. He walks toward the house. The door opens on its own. Inside, total blackness. A tall human figure stands in the doorway holding a bundled shape, a baby. But the baby giggles with two voices, one high, one low. The adult figure smiles. Its face is Daniel's own. But distorted too many teeth, skin stretched tight like it's barely holding together. Figure, welcome home, Daniel. The phone falls to the porch. The porch light begins to sway overhead, casting impossible shadows. For a moment, the ceiling opens in a quick flicker, and dozens of eyeless, childlike hands reach down toward the screen. Whisper, we never left. You just stopped seeing us. Static. Video ends. Aftermath. Daniel Reeves has not been seen since this recording. Officer Ruiz is still missing. 237 Elmridge Lane remains vacant. The porch light continues to glow, despite having no power line connection. Multiple reports of figures standing in the windows at night persist. Sept 28, 3:15 a.m. A neighbor called police claiming she saw Daniel Reeves standing on the porch of 237, holding the Johnsons' baby. They stood motionless, smiling. The baby waved at me, the caller said, but its hand was on the wrong side. Final note from Detective Marks, lead investigator. We've taped off the house, sealed the door, but that light, it's always on. And now we're getting reports that other porch lights down the street are starting to flicker. Last warning. If you see a porch light that glows yellow, especially one that hums, flickers like a heartbeat, appears in places with no bulb, do not approach, do not enter the house, and above all, do not look in the windows. They might be waiting for you. 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It has been waiting for years. Derek and Maria Broaddus thought they were moving up in the world when they purchased the stately, colonial-style home at 657 Boulevard, nestled in the quiet, tree-lined streets of Westfield, New Jersey, one of the safest towns in America. They had 3 young children and dreams of barbecues, block parties, and peaceful suburban life. They didn't know they had just stepped into something ancient. 3 days after closing on the house, a plain white envelope with no return address appeared in their mailbox. The handwriting was elegant, almost old-fashioned. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s. My father watched in the 1960s. And now it is my time. Have they found what is in the walls yet? In time, they will. At first, the Broadduses thought it might be a joke, but then, who are the people in the bright red car parked in your driveway today? I see your daughter painting in the sunroom. Is she the artist in the family? They hadn't told anyone they were moving in. They hadn't even unpacked. And already, someone somewhere was watching them. The letters kept coming. They became darker, more personal, more threatening. The writer referred to the children as young blood and claimed the house had been calling to them. They asked disturbing questions like, which of your children will be in the bedroom facing the street? Once I know, I can plan better. Have you found out what's in the walls yet? Police were baffled. The letters were untraceable. No fingerprints, no digital trail. Even more chilling, the previous owners admitted they'd received a letter too, just before moving out, but said nothing. Derek and Maria were consumed by fear. They set up cameras, slept at Maria's parents' house, stopped letting their children outside. Derek stayed up late into the night, reading through maps of the neighborhood, comparing writing samples, building a list of suspects, neighbors, former owners, even real estate agents. They even hired private detectives and forensic linguists. Nothing, and the letters kept arriving. 657 Boulevard is turning on me. It is coming back to me. I can feel it. It is my obsession, and now you are too, Broaddus family. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy. Theories and paranoia. Neighbors became suspects. Friends became strangers. Even the Broadduses themselves were accused of hoaxing the letters to get out of a bad mortgage. The town turned against them. The Watcher never revealed themselves. The Broadduses never moved in. In the end, the house sat haunted not by ghosts, but by obsession, fear, and silence. The walls never spoke, but someone had been listening, watching, waiting. Aftermath. The house was sold in 2019. No more letters have been publicly reported, but 657 Boulevard still stands. And somewhere, in a dimly lit room in Westfield, an aging hand might still be gripping a pen writing, "Welcome to the neighborhood. I've been waiting."